Dave. Sounded like you said in the year of the Apocalypse Plus. Well, I mean, Apocalypse Plus 20. That's what I meant. That's fine. No, it's perfectly fine. It was just how you emphasized it. And for the next 30 minutes, we're going to be bringing you smooth jazz. It's fine. I'm still learning how to use it. I don't use headsets, but um, it was interfering with my gameplay. Yeah, yeah, it was interfering by not having it. So I picked it up, and I got to put this. I don't know why this isn't at 100. This should be at 100. And I still don't know exactly everything that's going on, so I got to play around with it. But it is a Razer Black Shark V2 Pro. It's wireless. Doogly. Why? Thank you. See, like I could stay in the conversation and leave the room. Yeah. I failed it because I forgot. I Oh my God, John, we failed. We've got to do it again. I have Netflix. Did you did you see that? Did you see that, Doug? Oh. I do. I do know what you mean. Hmm. Okay. All right. So yeah, but are they gonna get the are there like callbacks to the original? Right. Right. Yes. Oh, hold on. Wait, stop. Apparently, designer said they can only hear me, and that's not right. What is going on? Yeah, right? Hold, please. Uh, that's so weird. Why is it not? Yeah. Uh, ah. Hold, please. Huh. All right, let's try it now.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
So,
that's absolutely that works. Hmm. I could see the little. I could see it now, so it's now going out. All right.
All
Um.
right, we're back. Oh, okay. Zinar says yay.
All right. So, Doug, could you go over that again?
all right, from the top. Let me clear my throat. All right.
Wait. Got to cover some things. Uh, Rich has got a new headset,
Okay.
which he sounds very bassy, and we're going to be doing some jazz later.
Oh, that's what I said.
Uh,
Well, you could hear that because apparently my mic is working.
yes. John, we failed John. He gave us a mission, and none of us did it. And I think we're caught up now. Go ahead, Doug.
Right. Oh yeah. Wait. It was the new headset is a Razer Black Shark. Oh wait, I said that. That they heard.
That they heard.
Yeah. Rich is like one of them kids buying Apple when it comes to his headsets too.
Oh, and they forgot hello. They didn't hear hello. That's my signature greeting.
That's okay. Nobody needs that.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Doug.
Like, go ahead, Doug.
All right. And you know what? We'll just cover my bases. Coming to America 2 didn't live up to the Coming to America hype that from the 1980s, and
Okay.
it is good. It is good, but it is no 80s film, 80s classic such as the classics coined by the greats from the 80s. Some of my faves like include Mr. Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis. You can't forget Harold Ramis, right? And then Bill Murray, that crew. And then you had Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder, all those guys from the 80s. But like Eddie Murphy's classics from the 80s, it just like Coming to America 2 is a 2021 movie. It is not a sequel to an 80s movie. It is a sequel 30 years later.
Right.
And, it's rough. Like I think it's
So
kind of hard. It's kind of hard to like that comedy doesn't age very well, I guess.
right.
But
Some of it doesn't.
well, yeah, but like, Coming to America was definitely not like there was like I think there were like very few time jokes in that, and mostly just like good decent like subtle slapstick comedy. like very subtle slapstick comedy. And at that age, fine. Like I showed my girlfriend, she's 26. She's never seen a few of his movies from the 80s. She's not really watched a lot of movies from the 80s. She's very much more in tune with
I,
current movies, and she loved it. She loved the
not
original.
not for nothing, but at 26, she wasn't even around in the 80s.
Exactly.
Oh
Exactly.
wow.
I mean, she doesn't even know what. Does she know? Like when you say the 80s, does she said like the future? And you said no 19. She's like, there's a 19.
Well, she saw Trading Places, which is important for their personal
Oh
life.
my god, I was just gonna say that's one of my favorite.
I know. Mortimer, we're back. And after he gets him the money, oh, I
Yeah,
love Trading Places. I love it because like I was a Jamie Lee Curtis was like in that, and like the first time you see that heartthrob after Halloween where she plays like a good like one of her big ones. She plays a comedy. It's like a supporting role, the two of them.
yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah. It was a good movie. And then
Yeah.
of course, and then then you got Stripes back then.
Oh my God, Stripes. Present. You can't win. Like Harold Ramis, Stan, like and Bill Murray in Stripes was sheesh.
Yeah,
That was 1980. That was 1980.
Wow.
That was the top of the decade right there. They set the tone with that movie.
yep, they did. It
Oh,
was good. What were we gonna
All
say,
right.
John? What were we gonna say, John?
Is
Oh,
John gonna say something?
oh no, I thought
No,
John.
I was talking to somebody else.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Should I
Sorry.
cover the news before I switch over to the car?
Go ahead.
I don't have to.
No, do it, do it.
All right, cool. Well, I hope everybody else had a great weekend too. So, got some good gaming in or whatever, even though we lost an hour of sleep for daylight savings time. All right, from Tabletop Gaming News. When you're the DM of a game, you are in control of basically everything that isn't the PCs. That can be a daunting task to come up with, all of existence. Thankfully, there's resources out there that are ready to use content for help. One such is the Encyclopedia, that's the name of it, a complete lore book of cities, NPCs, plot hooks, magic items, and more that you can drop right into a D&D game. This is up on Kickstarter right now, so that's Encyclopedia. So check it out if you're looking for some additional resource materials for D&D or other games. Also in tabletop gaming news, lots of things happen during an RPG session, and it's a good idea to keep notes. And sure, you can grab any piece of paper, but with so much going on, it'd be helpful to have a notebook designed specifically for keeping track of your gaming sessions. Thankfully, that's what Dungeon Notes are, and that project is up on Kickstarter. That's Dungeon Notes. What do you guys use to keep notes? I many times I use the computer, but I also just have a little piece of paper. I just write down events, write down what time it is, write down the monster initiative or the little initiative charts. What do you guys use?
So
same.
I use scrap paper for the
Right.
most part, and then I use Google Docs for keeping long-term notes.
Okay, that's pretty much what I do. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
I
Okay.
I so here's my all right. So I understand these two products that you're talking about that are coming
Yeah.
out on Kickstarter. Um, there are so many resources
Yeah.
for
There are.
for a DM to use. The problem is finding the right resources for the style of play that you're doing.
Right.
So I'm all for more resources is better. There's going to be a DM out there that likes what whatever this new resource is.
Right.
Um, as for the other one, all right, I'm not going to knock it, but isn't it just a notebook?
Yeah, it's probably a notebook. It probably just has like titles to like a section where you would list things or something like that. It's probably just an organized notebook.
Right.
That's about it. But
So, which
check
is
it out. I mean, check it out if you're interested. If you're struggling with after you've done 10 sessions, if you've got 15 pieces of scrap paper floating around and you're not you don't feel like you're organized, check these things out on Kickstarter. So that's Encyclopedia and what was the other one? It is Dungeon Notes.
Dungeon
So
Notes. Yeah, like again, I'm all for it, right? I am
yeah,
because if it works,
right.
it's just a matter. It's based on the DM, and the DM's got to be consistent to it.
Like I bought a notebook. I have. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's the notebook that I can write in with a special pen, and then I could take a picture of the page and it sends it to my Google Docs. And then it's great. So then I've used it. I got it for a very specific project, but now I don't. Now I just use it as a notebook. I don't use it. I don't take the pictures and send it to my Google Docs. I just use it to keep notes for the day. So I'm not even really using it for its prime function. I could have easily done with a smaller notebook or something, but it's still a neat thing in case I want to save something. But you got to write really neat, and I'm not necessarily the neatest handwriter. You got to write really neat, or else it can't translate it into words. Like if you write really neat, you could do a whole page. You could write a letter to somebody, write an email to somebody in hand script or whatever, and then take a picture of it, and then you could just cut and paste it right into an email. But
So
if
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
pretty neat.
So what I have, my memory is mostly associated with audio, not visual.
Okay.
So what I do, one of the things that I used to do, I used to do it in school and it worked. And sometimes I start doing it here. I'll handwrite my notes, but then physically typing them into the computer. I read them as I type them, and that commits them to memory. And then I almost don't need my notes anymore.
Okay.
It's
Okay. Yeah.
it's interesting. It's just a process for me.
Yeah. I guess everybody's different, and so you're right. These things that I just mentioned, or at least the dungeon notes, they may not work for you. They may, but check them out if you're interested.
No, I'm all into the resources, and again, it's like I said, somebody needs it, right? And it's one
Right.
of those things. Like there's been initiative trackers with the magnets and the whiteboards, and those
Right.
are
Right.
really cool if you use them, right?
Use
And
them.
I think there's people that use all of this stuff. So I think I'd rather see more of this than less of it, just because somebody is going to find what they need to help them with DMing.
Well, I'm going to the Kickstarter. I'm going to need to switch over to the phone, so I won't be able to do any more news. But I am going to the Kickstarter right now, and they needed to raise. They were looking to raise $10,000, and they got 32,000 already, and they still have 24 days to go.
There you go.
That's
So
cool. It's nice when that kind of stuff happens, when something hits it from the get go and then just continues.
okay, I'm looking inside of it. They got some pictures from inside of it. I don't have time to watch the video right now. But it looks like you could keep track of your character stuff, or maybe the players' characters, uh, companions, monsters. There's just blank pages for notes, deities. Keep track of what your deities are.
What's it called? Roll and
Oh,
play, right?
that's good. That's good. I like that.
Dungeon notes,
The
Dungeon
deities.
notes. Yeah, roll and play
locations.
also.
You could keep track of what locations you visited, and what creatures you fought. And it looks like there's an area in there. It looks like there's some grid pages for like the dungeon master. You can draw like a map or something in there.
Do
Maybe
you have did you put the links up?
I didn't. I'll put it up right now.
There's only 425 backers.
Yeah, but 425 backers, they raised $32,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. How expensive is that book?
Oh, Zynar says, don't forget Blues Brothers, of course.
Oh my God, how could I forget Blues Brothers?
And Zynar also says, yeah, in this book, in the dungeon notes, you could write down the places you visited. You could write down the places you burned down.
The places you're no longer welcome because you murdered someone.
All right, I'm gonna switch over to the phone. So that's it for the
Right.
news. I'll cover the other news notes next time.
Places where you sing Minnie and the Moocher.
Minnie and the Moocher.
Guys
My
are
love for jazz has come from the Blues Brothers
no.
and swing
Not from
jazz.
Blues Brothers 2000.
No, okay, that was like a little bit.
That's an
of
example of a continuation from a lot of the same people that just misses the mark entirely.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that doesn't happen all that often, but can happen.
No, the problem is it's generational, right? So like Blues Brothers 2000 happened what, roughly, I want to say like 25 years after the first one, almost, right? Like a little bit more, or no, a little bit less, right? A little bit. Wait, was it Blues Brothers was 84? I feel like, right? 83 or 84.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was like 25, 26 years after the original, right? So that's you have to imagine like all of the comedy that had came out in that 25 years, and they had to write something that would speak to the people in the year 2000 at that time, right? 1999, 2000 when it came out, right? So It's like it's like exactly what it is. That is the problem. It's like when you're creating a sequel to something, and you have to get money, right? You can't just make something and expect like, oh, it's fine, if I have no money. But it's not artistic anymore. It's not that they're not making comedy to like make people laugh. They're making comedy to like
Actually,
get
I
people to pay
would
for it.
argue in that situation that it's the opposite, only because of how big Dan Aykroyd in particular pushed for Blues Brothers, in spite of everybody else being like, nah, nobody really wants to do this. A lot of the stuff that Dan Aykroyd has done, which unfortunately for other people, it has been because Dan Aykroyd specifically wanted to do something and just didn't really like it. It was just missing some of the other elements.
No, but the comedy didn't. His comedy is not coming to fruition. They're not allowing it to. You can't bring the 80s you can't bring the 80s to 2020. You can't bring the 80s to 2010. You can't bring the 80s to 2000. It just doesn't work. The 80s were the 80s. Like the comedy back then was racist. Like you had undertones of short undertones of womanism. You had short undertones of racism. You had things like that where people didn't. But like people back then were just like, whatever. It's a part of life.
Wow.
Now everything
John.
is
Dave, is that you? What the heck is that? For once, it's not me making that noise. What the heck is that sound?
Yeah, it was Dave. It's over now.
It was Dave, yeah. No, I'm saying
Rich, hold on. Rich, I don't think did you say something? But you're out. Your lovely Bluetooth microphone is not working.
Are we even on the stream? Like,
no, we can't cross the streams. I can't hear him either.
Is Rich even in the call?
Rich is talking to himself.
I can't see him, but that could be because I'm not on gallery view. Rich?
Oh, he's still trying to figure it out. Don't worry. We're still okay. Let's still go here. All right.
Really quick, I mean, like my issue with Blues Brothers 2000 is that I don't think it's trying to be an 80s movie. If anything, I think Blues Brothers movie is one of those middling, late 90s kind of deal. I think the problem is the problem with Blues Brothers 2000 is it misses entirely what was so engaging about the first one. Because this is a lot of really bad decisions. Like it tries to be.
That's the problem. That's the problem. You're taking an 80s movie and you're giving a sequel to it 25 years later. It isn't trying to be an 80s movie. It's trying to be a 2000s movie based on an 80s movie. You know what I mean? Like that's like when do you remember the Ghostbusters? Like not sequel, but reboot or whatever it was with the lady team, right? You know what I'm talking about? Shake your head up and down if you know. Okay, yeah. So like that was another example of bringing a movie from the 80s into modern day society and like trying to speak to two generations. You're gonna only speak to one generation. You know what I mean? Like for me, that Blues Brothers sequel was not a sequel because the original Blues Brothers was just far superior. It felt forced. Do you know what I mean, John? Like it felt forced. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it's not about making the comedy like in the current day and age and making an 80s comedy. It's taking the theme, taking the IP, taking everything from the 80s, bringing it to now, and us people who enjoyed the comedies of the 80s, people who looked at the 80s as one of the one of the defining high points of comedy, and where we have so many of our big actors today come from. They're all from a lot of them are from the 80s, but you look at it and you think to yourself, like this movie was made for now, and it doesn't speak to me from my love from then. You know what I mean? So I'm biased. That's what it is. I come down to I'm biased. I think that they don't do it. They're not doing it. They're just doing it because, whatever.
Well, because they think it's going to be profitable. Like that whole, like you said before about Ghostbusters. Like the problem with that Ghostbusters reboot, essentially,
Wow, that's
is
weird.
that they wanted to make. You
There
back?
we go. He's back.
Did we all lose audio, or was it just you?
Just me.
Okay. We would have had the same situation before, whereas if Rich isn't talking, the show's not happening. I think that actually Rich has been trying to sabotage the show. It's like anytime that Rich isn't on mic, that nobody else has to listen to anybody else.
Yeah, it was just me. It was just me. I just
So
needed
what
to
happened?
I just needed to change. Hold on, let's make sure that I don't lose you guys. Talk again.
What happened?
No, we got you. All right. So no. I don't know. I really don't. I guess I pressed a. I was trying to change because it was a lot of noise coming from Dave. So I muted him, and then I wanted to see if I could cut out the noise. But I'm thinking that the THX spatial sound quality is not the best for broadcasting. It's great for games, but not for broadcasting. So I just switched over to regular speakers.
Yeah. See, Dave? See what happens? See what happens here when you go crazy with your phone? Rich gets silent.
I get angry.
Oh, there you go.
I have a Razer mouse, and it has like 18, 19 buttons on it.
That's next. A Razer mouse is next. I have a Razer keyboard.
No, my keyboard is iBuyPower.
Apparently,
we don't get commission from Razer for these sales, but Razer, if you're out there and you want to, we can promote you.
Yes, Razer, please. I was about to make a really pessimistic comment. I'm going to hold that one back.
What, Razer, please think about all the fan you could be getting.
That was what I was going to go with. Like, hey, Razer, we could sell designer every day, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Hey, Zainar, buy this. Zainar, buy that.
nice. You guys are weird. All right, so Dave, it's 6:58.
Are we ending early?
No, it's your turn.
My turn for what?
I don't know. We got 2 minutes. Fill it.
Oh,
That's what she
Wait,
said.
you need 2 minutes to fill, and you go to Dave, not me?
yeah, really.
You don't go, hey, John,
No, John.
banana. I was like, oh,
John, talk about pinball.
John, we have 2 minutes to fill. We don't have 10 minutes to fill, John. That's why you get it with the Dave.
I've got to call a Cthulhu game tomorrow night.
All right, I was wrong. John, what do you have?
Wait, my RPG money topic. My RPG money topic. We can talk about that.
Nobody wants to talk about money in RPG, Dave. People don't want to talk about money in real life unless they have a lot of it.
Were you talking about that? Were you talking about your post on Facebook?
Yeah, I made a post on Facebook. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Here, I got it. You ready? I'll answer your question for you. I'm going to answer your question for you. First of all, you should have a Bluetooth in your car so you can hear us. Second of all, here's your answer. Who money doesn't exist in RPGs. It's just everything you can carry and loot and kill. That's all you need. Who cares? I don't need no CPs. I'll drop those on the ground. Give me them GPs or PEs or EPs.
Right.
Or PPs.
So you're saying just not even bother with money?
Don't even bother. Just, hey, you know what? Listen, you know what? It's like a barter system.
You can afford this. You can't afford that.
Yeah, or like cut the head off of something and just like, bring it along with you. Scare people into giving you food.
If you think about it in a weird way, money exists in RPGs as a way of allowing the players to do stuff that technically might not actually the world itself would allow. What I mean by that, to try to put that into actual context, why would people sell super powerful magical items when they could just use them themselves, or when they have amazing abilities? Now, weapons I can understand. The average person, the average shopkeep might not want to be like running after dragons and fighting them and stuff like that. But like, potions, things like hey, but this potion can bring people back from the dead. I might want to use that for myself. I guess I better sell it to a couple of chumps who might end up burning the village on the way out if I don't sell it to them for a cheap price, Like,
right now, Call of Cthulhu does something interesting. They got rid of money. It's not like you write down in your Call of Cthulhu character that you have $120 in your pocket. What they do is when you do character creation, you create sort of like an income level. I forget what they call it, but that's what Anna, our Call of Cthulhu keeper, was saying in those Facebook posts, Doug, was you have an income level. So you're either like, not, either like basically, lower class, middle class, upper class. It's not that. I forget what they call it. But, and then so the keeper says, okay, you want to buy a 1920s car, you need to be, upper class to buy it. So somebody in the party, you have to have somebody in the party with upper class in order to get that item, So that's sort of what, that's sort of, if you're going to stay at a fancy hotel, you're going to stay at a cheap hotel. Depends on what your income level is.
So, but you can't. It's not comparative. You can't compare it because Call of Cthulhu, you have a profession, right? It's not like D&D where you get a 9 to 5 job. It's different. You need.
Right.
Also, D&D, the treasure used to be part of your experience, but
yes,
it was.
Remember, yeah.
It was only part. It's only what you could carry back to town, which is you got an experience.
So you that's how you had weight restrictions and stuff. Like a lot of people paid attention to weight.
Right. Now, I still think it's important, but it's only important to a certain aspect. First of all, it talks about how nobody wants to buy magic items because there's not a market for magic items. There's not supposed to be. You find magic items for yourself, as Doug pointed out, and you're not supposed to go and sell them. You're not supposed to get a lot of money from them because people don't know what to do with them.
I know what to do with them. Become a murder hobo. Murder hobo, okay? Listen, every time I DM anything and I give someone a freaking magic item, it's like, oh my God, look at this. It's like they've had their first, like for lack of a better word, erection in their life. And they're just like going nuts. I gave, quick story. Someone decided to be a lucha libre as like a class. They pulled a 5th edition class off the 5th edition wiki or whatever like that. He's like, yeah, I'm a lucha libre. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to give you a special mask. He's like, well, like my mask is way better, but this special mask you can wear under your mask. He's like, oh, I'll do it. He jumps off the wall and he just goes crazy running down a hallway, grappling everyone, ripping heads off. And I'm just like, what are you doing? All the magic item did was give him the ability to be like weightless on when he's jumping around.
Well, there you go.
Nice.
Murder hobo. That's it. Murder hobo.
Well, on that note, I got to run.
All right, bring us home. Bring it.
So for those murder hobos out there, or for those dealing with murder hobos, we really hope you have a great time. We'll be here again Wednesday morning, 6:30, same time. Thanks for Zynar for joining us and anybody else that I missed in chat after I got into my car. Well, I will have all our tech situations figured out. Rich will figure out his headset and whatever else happened.
No, we won't.
Okay, no, he won't. Okay. He's too busy. He's too busy in meetings. And buy Razor. Everybody buy Razor. And good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. You've been listening to Slow Jazz.
You've been listening to the sweet sounds of the rain.